Hi, Helen here. Thanks for joining me on my channel. Today's card's going to be similar to the one I made last time, using the same stamp set, but it's going to have a different layout this time. So I'm going to start off with a 5x7 card base and a panel the same size, and I'm going to have a little strip of card that I'm going to make a background. So I'll start off by ruling a line down the edge of my card because the nestability square die that I'm going to use is the cutting edge is quite a way in from the edge of the die, so it's really hard to line up unless I have a line to line it up to. I'm also marking the central point just so that I know where to line the first square up to. So I'm sticking the nestability down with some repositionable tape, and I'll run it through my ebosser, and then I'll do the other two cuts, making sure that I've got them evenly spaced. Once I've got my 3 windows cut, I'm just going to rub out any sticky residue from the tape out with my pencil rubber, and then I'm ready to start making a background that will go behind the windows. I'm going to make a Bokeh Effect, which is Bokeh, and it's just like little circles, some overlapping and some on their own. So I'm going to use a stencil that I made with my silhouette cameo. You could just, if you had some different size punches, you could make one with cardboard and just cut out several different sizes. So I'm using 3 colours in ink, cracked pistachio and altered violet with the distress inks, and then I've got buttercream, which is an Alter New Crisp ink, and I'm making sure I wipe the acetate stencil with a baby wipe in between just so that I don't contaminate the colours. And I'm just going to do random circles of the 3 different colours, some overlapping others and some just individually. I'm using a small sponge dauber on my finger to apply the ink. I'm using quite a light hand, and I'm also dabbing off the first part of the ink onto my scratch paper beside me, just so that I get quite pale ink. The yellow does look quite dark here, but it does lighten up when it soaks into the paper. The crisp inks do that. I'll just continue putting all the colours randomly on my panel and keep checking with the windows just to make sure that I've got enough of the dots to fill up the top part of each of the windows. And that's my background done. You could, if you didn't want to go to this trouble, just put a pretty background paper in. It would be perfectly fine. Now, my window panel, I've put scraps of fun foam on the back and then some double-sided tape, and I'll just attach my bokeh panel onto my card base and then put that triple panel onto the front of the card, and that's the main part of the card done. Now I'm using the same animals that I used in the last card. I showed you how I coloured them and what I used to colour them with, but I will have a full list on my blog of all the colours I used. I'm going to mount the little animals with some Scotch foam tape on the back and pop them into my little windows. I'm now going to make a couple of banners, one for the sentiment. I'm using some mauve and white striped pattern paper out of a 6x6 pack, and I'm going to also use a piece of dotted toner paper from a Heidi Swap set that I'm going to foil with my Mink machine with some mint foil. The sentiments I'm using is the first birthday from the clearly besotted animal set, and then I'm going to also use the happy from the Kaisercraft save the date stamp set. Now a bit later on I realised I'd made the sentiment too close to the left hand edge, so I redid the purple and white banner with a little bit more clearance on the left hand side. So that's my two banners finished. I'm just going to put a little bit of double-sided tape between them just to hold them in position, because I'm wanting to tie a little bow with some mauve and white striped baker's twine. I'm using my EK Success tweezers just to hold the knot in place while I tie the bow. It's a really good way to keep it all in place. It's such a tiny wee bow that it took me quite a bit of fiddling to get it just how I wanted it. I popped a tiny wee dot of glue just under the bow just to make sure it stayed put. once I've got it right, I put some double-sided tape on the back of the two banners and stuck it onto the front of my card. It's a bit tricky when you've got two banners that are slightly sloping to make sure that your sentiment's straight. Once I was happy with that, I trimmed off the excess. I finished the card just by scattering a few of the Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins and a couple of mint coloured enamel dots just to finish the card off. I used a quick stick tool and the Eco Success tweezers to put the sequins on, but I struggle putting sequins on. I get them all over the place. Love to know an easier way. The final touch, I used some Wink of Stella pen just to put a little bit of sparkle on the lion's balloon, the little windmill that the bunny's holding, and then I just put a little bit on the critter's nappies. Who doesn't like some sparkling nappies? Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the card, and please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.